Greetings everybody, my name is Simon Okelo and you're watching Diaspora Connect on One Vibe TV on YouTube. If you are watching this show for the first time, this is something that we've been doing for the last year and a half now. We've published over 45 episodes and we do this in order to demystify the lives of African people here in the diaspora and to act as a resource for our people back home, so that we can also help people learn that America is not consisting of streets of gold everywhere and taps that if you turn it on there is milk and honey flowing. So the other thing that we also do through this show is to encourage collaboration between Africans and African Americans through storytelling. So today it's really an honor to be sitting with Alana Belle, who is someone who is hard to catch, and someone that I also look up to here in Seattle. She's a musician, a composer, singer, an educator, and I could go on with the list for a while. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. I feel really blessed and honored, A, to know you, and B, to be here. So thank you.
Thank you very much. So tonight we are recording from Langston Hughes Performing Arts Institute, and we are having Rwandan dinner. So my first question is, have you ever had Rwandan dinner before?
I have never had Rwandan dinner before, so I was super excited to enjoy. I would say so far I haven't gotten to finish my food, but right now the potatoes and peas is making me pretty excited. So I'm looking forward to that.
Fantastic. Is there an African-American meal that you can compare to the food you've had so far?
Oh, yeah. You know what? The rice with the beef almost reminds me of like a dirty rice. So kind of like a Creole type of dish. So with the seasoning and the way the rice is prepared, that has a little bit of that vibe for sure. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, I knew you through music.
Yes.
I knew, and you're one of the people that I was told initially when I moved to Seattle around 2000, and I moved here in 2010, but around 2012, 2011, your name was coming up. In fact, Njuguna Wagishuru is one of the people that always suggested that you should meet, Alana. But at that time, you're working at Seattle Academy.
Yes.
And you're not there anymore.
No.
Just share with me the story of first how you got the job there, because it's not a place where our people get access to easily, and what you're working on currently.
Yeah, certainly. So for me, getting access to a place like Seattle Academy actually started over 20 years ago. I was a student at the school, and I had been in private school pretty much my entire life. And I went to go visit SAS, and I remember out of all the schools that I visited, that was the one that felt like home to me. And I started there in 1997, and I was the only black kid in my class for 2 years. I was also class president both years, which I'm very proud of. But for me, there were moments in which that was challenging because as a youth, you're really trying to figure out who you are, who you want to be, differentiate yourself from your parents. And I didn't necessarily have those examples in people that looked like me. I did have incredible mentors, though, who I'm still incredibly close with, who will end up teaching my daughter because she goes to school there now. But I went through school there, lived a lot of life, moved to New York, did music in New York, came back home, and my former advisor kept telling me, come back and work. And I'm thinking, for what? What did I do that would make you think I would be good to work in a school? So finally, after several years, I came back to work, and it was probably, I always say it was the best decision I made for myself, and my parents' best decision that they made for me was sending me to school at SAS. So I started in 2010, and I was there until 2018. I did lots of different things there. I was the director of equity and inclusion there. I worked in our admissions. I hosted lots of events. Probably one of the things I was most excited about was I created a music curriculum called What is Music, taught 8th graders, and essentially I tricked young people into talking about real world stuff through music, primarily hip hop. And that was really, really fun. I mean, I wasn't a great teacher when I started. It probably took me about 3 years to actually develop my kind of style and become what I would say is a decent teacher. And it was just an incredible experience. And I learned so much from my students. That was really special. So all the while I was working at SAS, I was always doing creative things. I was always collaborating with other artists. In 2014, I started a little duo with a producer by the name of Comedic, who's here in Seattle, and we released a couple of projects together. Did a lot of work with Porter Ray, and was kind of part of that movement around 2013, 2014. And in 2014, actually September 11th, a producer from New York wrote me a Facebook message, and he said, "Hey, I really like your voice. We should do something." I said, "Okay, well, send me some tracks." Most producers will send you 5 tracks. He sent me like 50.
Wow.
Sends me these tracks, and I started writing music immediately. And kind of what came out of that was my most recent project, which is called The New Romantic, and it is an EP and short film. Did not know I was going to make a film in September of 2014. But after recording in New York and coming back, I started to see really clearly imagery. And I would never have fancied myself a filmmaker at all. But I'm really lucky because my brother is a filmmaker down in Los Angeles. And so we partnered together and co-directed the short film.
Fantastic. So, I saw that you're recently screening it and, you're pushing this new project. But one of the things I learned that you're doing now is also you're hosting a radio show.
I am.
Tell us about that.
It's interesting because when I left my job at SAS, I thought for sure, like, I'm going to go and be a musician and that's what I'm going to do. And what I just recently realized, almost a year and a half or so of not being there, is that I really was just leaving SAS to go and do anything that was creative that felt good to me. And music is a huge part of my life, not just in performing, but really just the study of music. I love music more than anything other than my daughter probably and God. So it's like, I always felt connected to it. And I've been asked to DJ a lot, but I don't DJ because I have not done the work to call myself a DJ. So I figured what would be another way, and thanks to Tony Benton, who is the director and studio manager of Radio Avenue Radio. I was able to submit essentially just for a show. So my show is called Goodnight Lovers. It's pretty much all R&B, Quiet Storm, all of the kind of sexy, slow tunes that I love to listen to, kind of spanning. I'll probably play some stuff from the 60s and kind of maybe a little bit of 2000 stuff, but really probably like 60s, 70s, 90s, that vibe. So I do it once a month, and it's just, something fun that I enjoy doing, and I'm really blessed to be in a position that there's a platform that exists for me to do that.
Fantastic. Now, a lot of Africans here in the diaspora or African Americans normally have a dream of going to the continent. I know we talked about this, but money is always the issue,
Right.
So let's say, you have $1 billion in your account right now, and you had the option to live here or in the continent. Where would you go?
Wow. To live or to go?
To live.
You know what? For me, I would have to go first
to
be able to determine, especially with family and all of that. I, for me, would love to be able to have roots there and to probably live between the two. But for me, I think it's first just the idea of being there and being able to smell the air and see the people and have my feet firmly planted on that ground. That's the dream for me. So even if I don't have $1 billion or $1 million, that's a goal that I think that is actually reachable for me. And something that, as a child of the diaspora, it's just a huge dream. And I think it's necessary in me determining what my true purpose is. Because there's a piece of me and all of us that is missing. And I think until we, have that moment of reckoning with that, and look that lacking part of our identity square in the eyes, there's always going to be something. There's always going to be longing and yearning. And so for me, being able to go there and stand there, that's the dream.
Fantastic.
please subscribe to One Vibe TV on YouTube.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.